So now we want to take a look at the tug of war between an anti-vaccine or unvaccinated community and now people looking at a third booster shot. So our 9 Health expert, Dr. Paul is talking about that report, which talked about those similar findings also from Johns Hopkins in the U.S. So where is the booster shot standing right now as far as medical analysis?
So Tom, the overwhelming data tells us that if you're immunocompromised, it means your immune system was not able to react normally to the first 2 shots, then you do need that third shot to really level the playing field and catch up with others. But for the rest of us who are immunocompetent, we really don't know yet whether that third shot is necessary and whether it's the right timing, whether it's going to do benefit.
Are you talking, when you say immunocompromised, people who knew before they got these shots that they had certain issues that were going to be problematic? Or do we find out that some of these people post-vaccine, we say, nah, it turns out you are immunocompromised, you aren't making enough?
Well, that's interesting, but it's mostly the people who know. So, for example, the Johns Hopkins data looks at solid organ transplant patients, those that are on immunosuppressant medications to accept their organ.
Okay.
So their immune system is sort of being turned off.
So is everyone eventually going to be needing the booster shot? People talk about this, whether it's a booster shot or even becomes an annual shot like a flu shot.
You know, I suspect they will, Tom, because the virus is not going anywhere. It's probably going to become endemic. And we do know that preliminary data is telling us that the vaccines that we've already received, some of that antibody immunity does wane or go away over time.
What about people who had COVID-19? Do they have a different level of immunity that needs to be considered?
Yes, they're entirely a black box because it depends on what type of COVID-19 you had, meaning the original strain, the alpha strain, the delta strain, how intense that initial infection was. And all of those factors, of course, determine how long your immunity lasts and whether you got the vaccine after or not.
Generally, is it if you had COVID-19 and are vaccinated, are you stronger or weaker subsequent to all of that?
It's almost that you're stronger because you got your booster shot. Your
Right.
initial virus was the immune activation, and then when you got the 2 doses of the vaccine, you got your boosters.
What's the problem with the booster shot? What's the downside for people?
Yeah, why not just go get it, right?
Right.
So the problem is every time you activate that immune system, you have a potential risk. You have a risk of inflammation, a risk of autoimmune conditions where the body attacks itself. We also don't yet know the optimal timing of the booster shot. And we don't yet know if we're going to get a booster, should we get one against the original variant, which is what's out there right now, or should we get a redesigned booster against one of the new Delta variants, and that would be better.
Is that in the pipeline? Is there a more Delta variant version of that that's going to be the booster?
You know, I certainly hope so, because it's very easy to swap out that messenger RNA and put in a new one. So when I get my booster, I'm hoping that it's the Delta variant booster, because we just don't have the science yet to support a third shot of a messenger RNA vaccine in such a short period of time.
We talk a lot about science and medicine, but the ethics of it also come into play. And we're talking about now adding to people who've already have some sort of protection, while some people are still unprotected, whether it's in the United States or around the world. Where does that debate stand as far as the medical community, the ethics of adding more shots to people who are already vaccinated as opposed to sending those shots elsewhere?
Yeah, this is really tough, because when you're fully vaccinated, you're not likely to die or have hospitalization from the disease. But at the same time, we're throwing away shots. And we don't have people who have yet had their first shots. So I feel like the more people we can protect, the better. And if the best way to do that is to send them overseas, so be it. But really, the population that I worry about the most right now is those unvaccinated people.
All right, another tough call. Dr. Paul, it's good to see you as always. Thanks.
Thank you.
We'll take a break. We'll be right back.